Hey there, what is up you guys? I am Jerry and welcome back to the channel, The Chicago Griller. This is the show where I share my favorite tips, tricks, and recipes for the Weber Q. If you think that I can help you out, hit the like button and subscribe. If you have owned a Weber Q for any amount of time, you may have considered replacing the grill grates. I'll go over why you may want to do this later on in today's video. But just know that this process is not a cheap one, as Weber charges quite the premium for their branded grates. So today on the channel, I have gone ahead and purchased this set of third-party grates from Amazon, and I'll be doing a side-by-side burger cook to see if the Weber grates are worth the 2x price premium. Let's go find out. Okay, and first look out of the packaging, and I must say, these grates look pretty impressive. They weigh and feel almost exactly like the Weber ones. However, these are straight cast iron, which means before I use it for the very first time, I need to season it. This can be done by applying a thin layer of olive oil on the surface of the grates. I'm being sure to try to get every nook and cranny. You only need a thin layer to polymerize, so just dab up any excess or pooled oil on the grates. Once you're satisfied, we are going to go ahead and place these in an oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. So once it is seasoned and ready to use, I'm going to bring it outside and compare it to the Weber grates. So side by side, it may be hard to tell which one is which, but the grates on the right side are my original Weber grates, and the grates on the left are my third-party Amazon grates. And to really illustrate how similar looking these grates are, I'm going to lift up these Amazon grates and place them on top of the Weber ones. And now that they're stacked together, you can see that these third-party ones are a dead ringer for the Weber brand. The spacing between the grates is dead on, and the flavorizer bars are the exact same size too. The only thing that you will notice, at least visually, is that the Weber grates may be a touch thicker, and that's because of the porcelain enameled coating on it. That said, let's get down to business and see how these cook side by side. First step is I'm going to get another layer of olive oil on my grates. Now I will shut the lid and let this grill preheat for about 10 or 15 minutes. So after that preheating period, my grill is up to a medium-high temperature. So let's go proceed with our cook. I'm going to lay down a 1/4 pound patty here on my third-party grate. There we go. And compare it to a 1/4 pound patty laid on my Weber grates. And a second patty on the Amazon grates. And a second patty on the Weber grates. Pressing down on all of them, and then shutting the lid and letting these cook for about 5 minutes on that first side. After 5 minutes, we are going to check on our burgers, and here comes the first test on these third-party grates. How are these grill marks? Pretty good. And how do they compare to the Weber grates? Looks very similar. Now, as you can see, I am getting a little bit of a flare-up on the Weber grate side of my grill. That's not a result of the grates. That is just a result of the oil and fat dripping down onto the burner tube or onto any caked on grease in the cook box. If I shift things around or simply close the lid, we're good to go. And see, when you close the lid, you snuff out the oxygen and the flame, and my deck is not on fire. As we get close to the end of our cook, we'll see these burgers are coming along nicely. The burgers on both sides look about the same, so I'm going to go ahead and lay down a couple slices of cheese and toast up some buns. So far, it really looks like there's no difference between the third-party grates and the Weber branded ones. So here I am, 1 minute later, for a total of 10 minutes of total cook time. Cheese is melted, buns are toasted, burgers on both sides look equally done, so it's time to pull everything off of this grill. So here is a big question mark for the day. These burgers look equally done on the outside, but how well do these grates conduct heat? There's only one way to find out, so once I get these burgers inside and assembled, I'm going to cut them open and show you how they look. And now that I shut the gas off, let's head on in. Okay, and here I am back inside. Just like I had on the grill, the burger on my left was cooked with the Amazon grates. And just as a reminder, on the outside, the sear marks on the burgers look pretty much exactly the same. But the real test will be to see if they're cooked to equal doneness. I don't want plain burgers though, so the first step, I'm going to add a slice of tomato to each. Next, I'm a big fan of raw red onion on my burgers, so I'm going to add a couple slices to each burger as well. A lot of times I'll just stop there, but I've got some avocado today, so I'm going to add a couple of slices of avocado to each burger. And I think that will do it for today, so I'm going to cap off these burgers with some ketchup on the top bun. There we go, burgers complete. And now for the real test, to see how these burgers look on the inside. And cutting into the burgers cooked on my third-party grates. This is gray throughout with only a touch of pink, so about a medium well. These burgers were made with 80-20 beef, so medium well will still be plenty juicy. That said, let's see how it compares to the burger cooked on my Weber grates. And the big reveal. Okay, exactly the same. Gray throughout with maybe just a hint of pink. Check this out side by side. There is absolutely no difference between these two burgers. I expect them to taste exactly the same as well, so I'm going to go ahead and scarf these down and be back for a recap. So as you guys can see, there is very little difference, if any, between burgers cooked on the third-party grates versus the Weber grates. So that begs the question, why bother changing out the grates at all? And I'll tell you why. It's because the Weber branded grates are porcelain enameled grates, and these have a very nasty habit. If you look closely, over time, you may start to see this porcelain enameling start to bubble up and even chip and flake off. You don't want these flakes to fall into your food. And unfortunately, once this process begins, that's pretty much the end of the grates. I've actually now had to replace these grates 2 times, so this third-party set is now my third set of grates for the Weber Q2000. Now, in theory, these third-party grates won't have the same problem as this uncoated cast iron and should last a very long time. We'll see if they hold up. That said, the porcelain enamel grates do have a couple of advantages over these third-party grates, and that is, out of the box, you don't have to pre-season them. And the other advantage of these porcelain enameled Weber grates is they won't rust in the elements. But for me, that doesn't really matter because I keep my grill covered all the time, so the risk of excessive moisture and rust is pretty minimal. That said, I'll leave it up to you guys, the viewers, to decide whether the Weber grates are worth the premium or if you just want to save some money and use the third-party grates on Amazon. I've left a link to the grates that I purchased today down in the description below. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching today. As always, if you enjoyed the content of the show, hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to also ring that notification bell so that you can be alerted as to when new content drops. I come out with new videos every week, so I will see you all again next time. Bye now.